Welcome to an interview with the Grand Master of the martial arts. My name is Roger Grimes. I am a 7th degree black belt in the Tracy's Kenpo system. And it is my pleasure to bring you this interview with my personal instructor, Grand Master Mark Miller. Grand Master, how you doing?
I'm fine today, Roger. How are you?
I'm great. I have a few questions for you.
All right.
One is pertaining is, how did you get started in the martial arts and what age were you?
Roger, I was probably about 15, and funny, went to a martial arts school. They wouldn't teach karate until you were 21 years old. Can never figure that one out.
That's a weird one.
Yeah, so I started with judo.
Okay.
And did it for a little while. My mother wouldn't pay for the lessons, so eventually I didn't, have enough. But I acted as a training partner for somebody. In judo they call it an uki, means dummy.
Yeah.
And really got be very interested in it. And time went on, boom, boom. Went in the Marine Corps. That was during the height of the Vietnam War. Went to Vietnam. Spent 13 months. Everybody knows something in the service. And really was able to nurture. When I got to Vietnam, I was in Okinawa, and a gunnery sergeant started a class on base. It was Ishanru, which is a system, native to the Okinawa, and really enjoyed that. Got out in California for a while before I came home. I'm from Cleveland, Ohio. Trained with some guys that were doing Mudokwan, which is a Korean system. Met some other guys that were doing Kenpo and really liked it. They were using their hands and everything else.
Okay, so that was the first time you really got
Yes.
to hear from Kenpo? Or?
Yes, yeah, and I asked them who they trained with, and they were training with the Tracys.
Okay.
And that's when I first heard the name, or Kenpo.
Okay. What school did you find of the Tracys? There was multiple schools, wasn't there?
Well, Roger, I came back here to Cleveland, and I'm driving down the street, and I see Tracy Karate sign.
Okay.
And a man named Hugh Alford, who was my first Kenpo instructor, and he, I'd say within 2 months, I was already teaching. And the guys in the old days will know this. I mean, some of us started teaching as purple belts.
Okay.
And because you had 40 techniques per belt, and it took a little bit longer. I worked with Hugh till 73, and I ended up purchasing the school from him.
Okay.
So it's been close to almost 50 years that I've been here at the same location.
Now, I remember you telling me stories about the early days of purchasing the school, how it was tough at times, and
Sure.
can you tell us a little bit about that?
Yeah, being a young man in business, and it's difficult. But see, this is where Al Tracy came in. Hugh Alford was, I believe, the first franchise owner of Tracy's, and that was, I believe, back in '69, and he was in Concord, California.
Okay.
And then he sold it, moved here because J.T. Will moved to Columbus and was doing real well. But there was a little bit of a down low on the karate, and I think that's one of the reasons that Hugh sold it to me. I think he thought it was getting, falling down his business. And that's when my relationship started with Al, and Al was guiding me. I went to a central training. I got more training, and eventually, Al took me on as a student.
Okay.
Once you're Al Tracy's student, you're his student.
So you had a relationship with Great Grandmaster
Yes.
Al
Oh, yeah.
Tracy for a
Anytime
long time.
Al came in for a seminar, I'd get a whole day, and he would work with me. And that was one of the reasons later on when he moved from Seattle. He retired for a while, came back out. He wanted to be in an area where he could reach his bigger groups of guys, St. Louis, Chicago, me.
Yes.
At one time, Roger, I had 25 schools. I believe that was the largest amount that anybody had branched off of Al Tracy. And I've had some really, really good black belts, yourself and many of these other guys that also own the schools now.
There's still a lot of us are left, but a lot of them are gone now.
Yeah, well, the economy, Roger, people, you know, the Kenpo never failed.
Yeah, you told me that over and over, and that sticks with me.
Personal problems.
There's one
like
thing
that.
you've always said to me, and it stuck with me. You said kiss. I thought you wanted to give me a
Yeah.
kiss at first, but then you said keep it simple, stupid.
Yeah.
And then I also thought, are you calling me stupid or keep it so simple it is stupid?
Yeah.
Well, which was that?
The first.
Just kidding. But that's the thing is, I noticed all these years I've known you,
Yeah.
you've kept it simple.
Yeah. I try to. I don't run with the trends. You know, Al always said teach Kenpo. You know, guys went with the Teenage Ninja Turtles. They went with the Power Rangers. They went with Taibo. We stay with the Kenpo, and that's, I think, why we didn't ride the trends. You know, back in the mid-'70s, sport karate was very popular, and we competed quite a bit. And some of the gentlemen like yourself are still competing. We've had great teams, and I had quite good spectators. I competed myself. But I don't like to travel, Roger, and I pretty much stayed in this area.
Yeah.
That's why I'm not real well known throughout the United States.
I was going to say
Yeah.
that about you don't travel very much, and for you to travel, you must really like somebody. Then didn't Grand Master Al Tracy have you travel a few times?
Yes, yeah.
Seattle.
The first gathering of the Eagles, he gave me a free room, gave me a free pass to the thing, and one of our guys, Dr. Ed Overchuck, who was a pilot, threw me a free airline ticket. It was never the money to go somewhere.
You just don't like to go?
I just don't like to travel. And now I feel obligated. Now I'm on this board of advisors that we're trying to run the system. You know, things that happen politically and the higher belt promotions, just to keep quality in our system.
Now, from my understanding, what you told me too is the advisory board was put together by Great Grand Master Al Tracy.
He hand selected.
That was before. That was years before he passed, wasn't it?
That's correct. In '03, he was in Chicago, and there's a document that probably was familiar with, and he set up the pattern which he wanted to have. You know, he wanted his wife and son to run the business end of the Tracys, and he wanted the advisory board there, which were his top black belts that had been around him the most, and you know, to run the particular thing. This way, not one person was a dictator. You know?
That's an awesome idea. I believe that Great Grand Master Al Tracy was a visionary.
I believe
In
so.
martial arts.
No,
a lot of the things he's done and changed,
Roger,
he doesn't get credit for.
he looked into the future and saw what happened to other organizations.
You see these businesses or these organizations to help martial art businesses. Well, Great Grand Master Al Tracy was doing that for years before this started becoming a
Yes.
trend, and where they started charging all this money to do this.
Yeah.
He was doing it for us.
Yeah.
That's
And
what
getting
he's
back to the old ways. In one of the gathering of the Eagles, we're in a ballroom, and he called me up in the middle of all these people, and he goes, "Ding-a-ling-a-ling." So we had phone pitches,
Yeah.
and I repeated it, and Bart Bell will remember this one. And Al turned to him and then made Bart do the interview. And Al then after that goes, "That's why we were so powerful and good." I remember Al telling me the Koreans approached him, why the Tracys were so successful, and Al said three things. Private lesson, which the rest of the karate world surrendered to us. The second one is we teach Kenpo. And they had sent Bong Song Hong, who was a pretty famous Korean. He's the guy that stunt double for Billy Jack. And he goes, he didn't want to hear the third one. And he goes, the third one was unity, but the Koreans already had that.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah. Where do you see the future of Tracy's Kenpo Karate going to
Well,
now that Grandmaster Al Tracy's passed away?
well, here's the thing. We're kind of in uncharted waters, doing it the way he did it with the board and stuff like that. And most of us have dedicated our whole lives that are on that board to the martial arts. So I don't want to see something go, Roger. I'm gone. Myself, you, some of these other guys are with me when they were young kids. I want to see you be able to carry this on. Who knows? Maybe you'll be on the board someday. You know, we want to be able to pass that on and continue what Al Tracy started.
Yes,
You know?
I agree with that. Here's one thing that you've said to me before too. Sometimes you have to put the book down and teach the martial arts.
Yeah.
I really took that literally and I put that into action. But where do you get that from?
Well, I was a student, Roger. Still am. It got boring sometimes, you know. You teach me a blue belt and the techniques, and you teach me a form, and sometimes people don't respond to that. And sometimes you have to be able to change your program a little bit, but then you get back to it. I mean, I still teach the original, you know, orange belt, purple belt, blue belt, you know. So the system is good. I'm not changing the system. Just sometimes changing how I divvy it out, you know.
Yeah, I just wanted to hear those from your
Yeah.
words on there because I took it to heart the way you're saying it. Is basically
You can be too sterile.
we could be
Yeah.
too much book work.
Yeah.
The technique. Well, sometimes they might not understand
Yeah.
why that technique works until
me,
you
it's too
break it
sterile.
apart. Yeah,
You know,
but it's a great start.
correct. And everybody's different. Anatomically, they're built different. Some people don't look like we want them to look. You know,
Yeah.
obviously being Al, my instructor, I patted myself. You know, I thought Al always moved very fluent, and I had an opportunity to work with Ed Parker. We brought him in several times, and you know, for a big guy, he moved very fluent. You know, so.
Okay. Do you have any more comments before we finish this? Anything that you wanted to add and say?
No, I just think with where we're at, I think the system's in good hands, and I think we're just going to get continue on as if nothing, if Al wasn't there. Yeah, I mean, we all have good memories of Al, but this is what we also were trained to do.
Yeah.
You know.
I like what you said, we're in uncharted waters. But the thing is, with the Kenpo training that we've had, that teaches us to adapt and change.
Sure.
What's on your wall says the unexpected happens. What do?
Yeah.
Adjust.
You just.
And that's what I like about this.
Well, this is 2019, Roger.
You have to.
You know. Sometimes you have to, but you change within the realm of what we're doing, not change just to change.
Exactly.
You know.
I like where it's going. It's going to be a little bit bumps sometimes trying to figure things out exactly,
Yeah.
but it's working out really well so far. And I like where we're going and having us meet together at different places, like the Gathering Eagles that's coming up.
Yeah.
And I think that's a really awesome thing that we're becoming more united again. I felt like there was kind of a separation for a while there until this started coming and the passing.
Well, Al's health got bad.
Yeah, and then that's when it started
Yeah,
uniting.
yeah. I think there was a little lag there until we were able to implement what's going on right now.
Yeah, and that I'm pretty confident that it's going to be good.
Good, good.
And thank you for this interview.
Well, you're welcome, Roger. Thank you.